Sex workers of Reddit, what's the weirdest kink a customer has asked you to fulfill? Oh, I also had a guy out of his mind on Molly, have me over for like 5 hours, but had me arrive at midnight, then proceeded to dress me in every Halloween costume he had ever worn, and photograph me in pirate stuff, LOTR costume and a wizard WA large staff taller than I am. Online only here, I had a man pay me $500 to sit on my feet in panties and a t-shirt, and turn my back to the camera, and play video games while ignoring the camera. I was camming and a guy wanted to start a pay-per-minute camming show. I agreed and just casually talked with him for a bit. Then to the weird part, he wanted me to lie in full view of the camera, completely still, like literally not move. I spent about an hour, just laying completely still, and making no sound. I have no idea what he got out of it. In a special massage place, friend of a friend told me that one of her customer comes in regularly to get his ass cheeks scratched for 1 hour. It sounds heavenly. I used to sell a friend of mine sleeping pills. She had a client who liked them being injected to his dick, and tried to fuck her before he went to sleep. Would take about 10 to 15 minutes before he crashed out. She was always paid up front, and she would leave when he fell asleep. A customer had a fishing fetish, got fisher outfits for some girls like a raincoat, or some shit, and brought a fishing rod, boots and all, and the girls had to act like they were fishing him, while he was laying on the floor and moved like a fish. Craziest shit I heard, but whatever floats their boat I guess. I'm not a sex worker, but the weirdest request I've had was on Reddit from a guy offering me $50 an hour to crush mealworms and insects with my feet. Oh, and the bugs would be supplied to me. Another time, a guy offered me $200 just to show up and meet him. Didn't have to talk or stay, just collect money and leave, which was obviously sketchy as fuck, and I didn't go. I was a cab driver for several years, night shift, ghetto, loved the job. I had a regular escort who always requested me, probably because I didn't ask her for anything whilst driving her to her next job. She'd go up into an apartment, house, or hotel room and have me wait, sometimes a full hour, but rarely over 15 minutes. I never argued, because waiting and a return trip keeps the meter running longer. One time she came down after maybe 10 minutes. She looked half amused and half terrified. She said that the guy had her put on a muumuu and an old lady wig, then yell at him while he took a shit, and edit for clarification, during he jacked off. Fucking weird. Freud would have something to say about that guy, no doubt. I used to drive around prostitutes, and do security for them, very regularly. One of the girls would get a call from this guy, who would have her show up in steel toe boots, and kick him repeatedly in the dick and face as hard as she could. He paid her $200 to beat him until he passed out, usually 6 to 8 minutes. That became a once or twice a week thing for well over a year. I was driving her. I think the strangest I've ever gotten was a man who had a huge fetish for Disney characters, and I'm not even talking just Disney princesses. He loved shit like Lilo and Stitch or Pooh Bear. He regularly paid me several hundred to dress up as his favorite characters, and basically verbally abuse him. It was a sweet gig, while it lasted. However strange, nothing really surprises me anymore after that one. Honestly, the idea of somebody shit-talking me while cosplaying a Disney character sounds so absurdly hilarious, that I think it could actually be a fun time, just not a legitimately sexy time. Not a sex worker, but I used to have a modeling page, and I got a message through once asking me to take videos and pictures of me sitting on cakes. He tried to claim it was for charity. Excuse me sir, but your dick is not a charity. Had a roommate in college, 2000s, who did private adult videos by request only, basically expensive personalized video porn. She came home pretty bummed one day, and I asked what was up. She said she had been paid $500 to put on an adult diaper and comically large baby bonnet and walk otherwise naked around a local college green space. The whole video was her walking around with her fingers in her mouth, acting like a confused adult baby. At the end, she was told to pee in the diaper and show the camera. When she thought she was done, the director asked if she wanted to poo in the diaper, for $1,500 instead of $500, saying the client asked if it was possible. She declined immediately, and the director was I guess okay with it. She was bummed. She missed out on making an extra $1,000, because she had pooped before going to work. We both laughed so fucking hard. What a ridiculous thought. Darn, if only I hadn't pooped before work, I'd be making some real money. I'm a dancer in a club, and I love kinky guys. Other than the dams, I won't get into that whole thing. Kinky guys trend to be pretty passive and tip well. Mostly I meet foot guys, cuckolds, men who wear women's undergarments, and just overall subs, who are open to whatever I'm into. After 15 years in the industry, I thought I'd heard it all. Then I met a guy, who said he was into bones, as in, he bought a 45-minute room, and just wanted to feel my skeleton. He was touching my collarbone, and hips pretty hard. It wasn't the most comfortable dance ever, but he was so grateful to be acting out his fantasy, and super respectful of me and my time. One of my favorite guys ever. I've only sex worked once, when I didn't have enough money for a night out. Guy paid me £250 for me, to sit on his back naked for 3 hours. He didn't do anything, just laid there, no conversation whilst I watched TV. I felt like I'd ripped him off, but he was very appreciative. There's plenty of fetishes I don't indulge, but understand how people get off. But I struggle to understand what he was getting out of it. To each their own. Thank you a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.